lived in a country which is not in Europe, not in EU. It is a country in Europe, but it doesn't belong to this category, all right? So when I bring out this information, understand that I have done a lot of research. I have carried out the research. That is why I am sharing this knowledge, because I don't want some people to be where I started from, all right? It's good to prepare, to pay attention to important things, perseverance before you strike, all right? Now, I will be talking about a country in Europe, all right? Very cheap in terms of education, everything organized, all right? And I think it is a good country for you to live in. And I know you clicked on this video because you wanted to watch what I'm going to talk about, which I am talking about right now. And the name of this country is Austria. Yes, I will be talking about the benefits of living in Austria, or why you should consider moving to Austria in the first place. First, because I always talk about education on this YouTube channel, I will be starting with the first benefit, all right, of living in Austria, the education system. Now, there is something I want to draw your attention to. Though I have lived in North Cyprus, but which was a very small island like this, a population of less than 1 million people. Most of the population in Northern Cyprus is made up of foreigners, all right? It's just less than 1 million people. I noticed some very important aspects in Northern Cyprus, and I want to tell you that if you are planning to move to Austria, or if you are looking for benefits to move to Austria, don't even think more. Just look for your means, apply for your visa, and you go, all right? The education system in Austria is one of the top-notch educations in the world, all right? Let me say one of the advanced education systems in the world. What do I mean here? First, let's look at the structures. Yes. Yeah, it's very possible like that. Hello. So like I said, the education system is one of the best, all right? Not just the best, but one of the best, because there are other countries in the EU, all right? So now, if you are to school in Austria, let me put it this way. Let's say you are moving through education. Know that first, their education system is very well organized. They have well-experienced lecturers or professors or academicians. Secondly, their laboratories are well equipped, all right? Remember, this is one of the leading countries in the EU, right? Again, know that the education system is almost free, right? As a matter of fact, there are schools in Austria that are free, all right? Free education. So you do not need any tuition fee to study. All you need to do is to apply. When admissions is open, you apply. Then when you get admissions, you apply for the visa, which is called the residence permit, all right? You move to Austria, and that is it. You study for free. Now, let's look at those that have small tuition fee, let's say 350 euros, 500 euros, 750 euros, because I have seen so far, maximum, I think the University of Vienna is around 1,000 euros. Not even up to, I don't really, but I will still check again. Most schools in Austria compared to schools in Europe are very cheap, very, very cheap. In fact, apart of Germany, which is tuition free in most of their public universities, Norway, which is tuition free in their public universities, I think another country you should consider moving to if you do not have money. Probably if you have money just for your visa or your processing, you should apply to Austrian universities. They have a very organized system of education, all right? And of course, their tuition is free. Now, I will go to the next benefit, which is their safety. Austria is also one of the safest places in the world. There was one time I remember a subscriber was asking me, not a subscriber really, but a very close person to me. She was asking if now Cyprus is safe, and I told her it is very safe, all right? Though there are little things happening in Northern Cyprus, but if you do not look for problems won't look for you. Now Cyprus is safe. Likewise, Austria. Remember, there are countries in Europe that a lot of initial some things or things are happening. But looking at Austria, it is very safe, all right? Austria is one of the safest countries in Europe. No doubt about it. The next thing I want to talk about again is transportation. But before I go to the transportation, back to the education system. Remember, if you have an Austrian passport, or if you own a temporal, or let me say a permanent residency in Austria, your children are going to be studying for free, all right? Put that into consideration. Now, let me go to the transport system. Like I said, in terms of education, Austria is highly organized. And of course, what do you expect in terms of their transportation? The transportation is also very organized, all right? Sometimes it's not even very expensive. Remember, they use euros. In Austria, euro is the currency. But know that in a country where laws are put in place, everything is going to be put in order. And of course, transportation will be very good, all right? So do not pay attention. Now, another thing I want to also emphasize here is the healthcare. Healthcare is one of the problems most countries face, especially when I lived in North Cyprus and even in Turkey. I noticed that a lot of the hospitals, let me say a lot of the hospitals or maybe the clinics are not that organized compared to those in this place, all right? So now you should also consider healthcare as one of the things you should be looking into, all right? If you must study in a country like Austria, know that healthcare in Austria is top notch, all right? They do not joke with health, all right? Everybody is organized. The hospitals are clean, all right? You can do your own background search. Like I always say, if you watch my video, make sure you pay attention to what I'm saying. Then do your own research before you apply what you want to apply, all right? Healthcare is very, very perfect in Austria. Well, nothing is perfect, but I can say that their healthcare is very powerful, all right? So that is what you should know. Again, their streets are, and maybe the entire area is very clean. Now, looking at, let me say there is one thing I noticed in some countries I've lived in. They are not that clean, but when I look at the picture, sometimes, you know, when you look at the picture of a country, it doesn't really portray what is on ground, all right? So what you can do is to go into certain sites where you can find videos, all right? You watch some of the videos or you watch some other videos on other people or from people living in those particular places. You will understand how it is. But I can tell you that comparing, well, I do not want to compare Austria with the countries I've lived in, because I know Austria is highly industrialized and of course one of the richest countries among the countries I've lived in, all right? And it's also a very big member of the EU. So of course, laws are going to be strict and the streets are going to be clean as well, because if laws are implemented, everything is going to fall in place. So Austria is a place for you to consider. Another thing I want to talk about is the law, all right? I want to talk about the law before I come to the job section. Now, understand that, like I said, the EU does not joke with law, all right? Ignorance before the law is no excuse. So if you go to a country, make sure you follow the principles and the laws put in place. Austria is a country where laws are put in place. When you fall a victim, you are charged for, all right? There is nothing like I beg, please. No, it doesn't occur in a country like Austria. There was one time I was talking to a friend in Germany. He was like, I said, no, know that you are living in an industrialized country. So there is nothing that is going to be considered in terms of that. God, welcome. So you have to consider all of these things first. Put them into consideration before you even move, all right? Because if you don't, it is going to be very difficult for you. That is what I can say for now, because most people, sometimes they do not really understand some of these things we talked about. Some people think that taking the laws into your own hand is an excuse. No, when the law holds you, you are going to pay for it, all right? There is nothing like, because some people, I understand in Africa, in the African context, we always like to plead. No, it doesn't occur in a place like Austria. Any European country that you are in, make sure you follow the principles of everything, all right? Because if you fall into problems, it is going to be difficult for you to handle, all right? They don't joke with laws in Austria. Pay attention to that if you are moving to Austria. Another thing I want to emphasize here is the job prospect. There was a time I was talking to a subscriber. He was like, okay, will I be able to get a job in Austria? I was like, dude, do you really know what you want? Have you done some research before? He said no. And I said, okay, now look, go to the countries in Europe and check where Austria belongs. Just type richest countries in Europe, cleanest countries in Europe, advanced countries in Europe. Do this research and come back to me with the information. And when he checked, he said, Milton, I don't know what to say. So there is no country in the EU. I repeat, there is no country in the EU. You can quote me anywhere. There is no country in the EU. If you are hardworking, if you can think out of the box, if you go to the country, you will lack a job. No way. There is no country in the EU. In as much as you can think out of the box and you are hardworking, any country in the European Union, you can have a job. You would work. You are going to be working, all right? So know that no matter how you go into Austria, in as much as you have a visa or a residence permit, you are going to be working, okay? There is nothing like I didn't find a job. No. In as much as you can think out of the box and you are hardworking, you are going to find a job in Austria. So these are some of the benefits in terms of job, education, security, schools, cleanliness, and all other things, healthcare and healthcare insurance and all the rest. All right. So take them though. If you are looking for a school, apply as fast as possible. Schools are open already. Some are open, some are not open. Apply for a school, take a visa, and move to Austria and better your life. All right. These are the advantages and the benefits of living in Austria I wanted to share with you. I hope you enjoy it. Until we meet in another one.